Okay, Memphis Sounds, special guest Jerry Schilling. Jerry, how you doing? A long way from North Memphis and Lee Street.
And we're still best of buddies, George.
Jerry was a dear, dear friend of Elvis's. Jerry also managed the Beach Boys. He managed Herman's Hermits. He managed Jerry Lee Lewis, managed Lisa Marie Presley, and the list goes on and on. But Jerry, how did you get with Elvis? That's a good story.
You know, George, 1954, July, I listened to Dewey Phillips a couple of nights before. I listened to him regularly. I was 12 years old. I went over to Dave Wells Community Center, Guthrie Park, on a Sunday, a couple of days after Elvis's record had been played. And there were 5 older boys trying to get a 6th person. This is how unpopular Elvis Presley was in 1954. And one of the older guys, Red West, said, he knew my brother and everything, and he said, Jerry, you want to play with us? I was at grade school. I said, yeah, great. You know, get to play with the older guys. Red was kind of the hero, because he was the big football player and all that. And I get in the huddle, and I'm looking like this, and I realize the quarterback is Elvis Presley, the guy I just started on, and that's what started.
That started, it was a long journey.
Long, 23 years.
You know, Jerry, you were with Elvis. It was a very historic moment. And it was made into a television show. It's been a book out on it. So if you can just give us the Reader's Digest version here on Memphis Sounds, the Nixon story, President Nixon and Elvis and you.
Well, this was one of the 3 times I wasn't working for Elvis.
Okay.
And I'm in Hollywood. I'm working as a film editor at Paramount. I'm asleep. I get this call. Hello, who is this? It's me. So, Elvis? So it was Elvis calling, and basically, I said, where are you? And he said, I'm changing planes in Dallas. I said, who's with you? He said, nobody. George, you know, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Nobody, 1970.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm coming to Los Angeles. Would you meet me at the airport? I said, sure. He's giving me his flight information and all that stuff.
That's unusual.
Oh, totally unusual. He said, I don't want anybody in the world to know where I am. So I pick him up. We go up to the Hillcrest House and in Los Angeles. I realized Elvis goes to bed. You know, he's been up and whatever. I can't go to bed, George. I'm the only one in the world that knows where Elvis is. He left Memphis. Nobody. And next day he gets up, we have coffee, we catch up. We hadn't seen each other. It was one of those great moments, days that you spend with Elvis. And then I had to be at work Monday morning. It's Sunday night, and he said, I need you to come to Washington with me. I said, I can't. You know, Elvis is pretty hard to say no to. And we're on an all-night flight. We get to Washington, D.C. He writes a letter on the plane, you know, and asks me to proofread it. It's a letter from Elvis Presley, the President of the United States. Beautiful letter. You know, it's a really American story. Yeah. And I said, Elvis is great just the way it is. We take it to the White House. Elvis goes on meetings to Washington, says, you wait here for the call from the White House. George, we've read a lot of Howard Hughes books. I thought I was going to be there a long time. 30 minutes later, I get a call from Bud Eagle Crow. President Nixon has read Mr. Presley's letter and wants to see him in 20 minutes.
Wow.
I called Elvis at the DEA administration, and he was really down because he couldn't get this badge. And I said, Elvis, the president wants to meet you in 20 to 30 minutes. Here's the kind of friend he was, George, as you know. Anybody else would have beelined it to the White House. He said, Jerry, you stand in front of the hotel. I'm going to swing by and pick you up.
Wow.
And there's the pictures. We wind up in the White House. And
yeah, I've seen the pictures of you and President Nixon and Elvis and Sonny and all. And he's giving you, do you still have the souvenir cufflinks and tie clasps?
Unfortunately, when I redid my house, something's happened. I don't.
You don't have?
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Well, but can you imagine, we started this story in North Memphis. Football game. Yeah. I thought about that in the Oval Room of the White House. The trip that I'd been on with Elvis. You know, from Dave Wells Community Center, Guthrie Park, to the Oval Room of the White House. Awesome story. Jerry, good luck on the book. I know it's still out there selling. Me and a guy named
Elvis. Good luck with that, and we'll see you down the road.
Love you, George.
Jerry, same here. Jerry Schilling on Memphis Sounds with George Klein.